going to like make some really neat stuff. These are those hawthorn berries. Now, Euro people, is this what hawthorn berries look like there? They said like hedgerow jam, right? And so, like we were saying yesterday, I'm afraid to like use these in anything because they seem a little bit too much like magical objects. So, and so there's this bush out in Fort Stevens, and it's at the actual corner of where the fort is, and it looks like it was placed there like in 1800 whatever it was, and it's huge. And so we got these. We had to bend the branch down because the elk had eaten everything elk high, and so we had to like use human engineering to bend down the tall branches to, you know. Of course, the goats have this strat already, so so which is smarter, goats or elk? Goat. So and so these were just out there, and so they're like guarding the fort, and it's supposed to be like bad luck to cut down the hawthorn because there's like fairy magic involved in that, and you don't want to like mess with those. And so they're supposed to be so good for something blockers, beta blockers for heart, that if you're on meds for, you can't eat these. So now I have to figure out, okay, well, what's the best way to like make a tincture, syrup, or something that's going to be like get all the health benefits out of it. And I think it's a full moon, and there's king tides, you know, this weekend, and so I feel like, okay, these are my magical objects, don't screw them up. So I'm going to put these out of range. And they're cute, and they're red, and they're Christmassy and whatnot, and I still have some fig left, so I think I'm going to make an epic, huge sized, there were 3 and now there are 2, huge sized fig Newton, or a butter cake, you know, maybe 4. We'll get those going on. Okay. Get everything out of like the path of destruction here. But yeah, I have not tasted one yet. I'm always afraid to like, you know, this is like we misidentified. I need to taste one. Someone says they taste like bland apples that are kind of a little bit woody, and I should taste one. So I should probably taste one after the show's over, so in case I like suddenly get a anaphylactic whatever, because I'm not that allergic to anything except for, you know, a handful of things, and then this is the one thing, you know. But I think I should test them just in case, because then that would, you know, that way we'll have it figured out as far as like, you know, can we really eat this, you know? But I digress a lot. We got cookies we were going to make. We have our dehydrated apples. These are some of the pink pearl apples that got sent to us, and so we're going to grind some of those up to put in there. And these are a little bit too dry for this recipe, but we're going to persevere anyway. Usually if they're just a little bit chewy, the ones that we had that were a little bit chewy look not great. I don't eat that, so I'm not going to eat that. And so we're going to grind some of these up in there. So the pie cakin', the lore with that is that we saw this post from Misha Collins from Supernatural, and they had made a pie cakin' cake where they had, and I think he showed me this, they had 3 pies that were as like a layer cake, and it's a play on the turducken. Oh, thank you, Cindy, for subscribing. Oh, I didn't have my sound up. Why did I not have my sound up? And I have like 2 alerts going off. That's interesting. Thank you. Okay, so at least we got a graphic. We got it on this side of the screen. We got a good graphic, and then we got, I think, so for this, I guess I have to have the sound up on the phone because I had turned it off on the laptop. And so, okay, so slowly but surely we'll be getting that organized. Hello, good morning, Cindy, and hello, good morning, Tank Fever. Okay. We are learning things. Okay. And so anyways, it was 3 pies. It's like stacked together and frosted like a 3-layer cake. And so you slice it and you get apple and pumpkin and pecan or something else, depending on your regionality. And so we figured like, okay, well, you know, we did that a couple of times, and then we realized, you know, we have to take these to the gift fair. So that's how we came up with the cookies, because these oatmeal cookies that I use, you can, they're like trail mix things. You just keep throwing stuff in there and throwing stuff in there, and it loosely holds together, and you get an oatmeal cookie with like potion in there. And so that's what we're going to do is we're going to grind these up in there. These are the pink pearl apples. And then for the pumpkin part, a bit. Thank you, Reba. Hey, I heard that one. All right, so I just need to, okay, the other one was not loud enough, I guess. Okay, so it's something else to tinker with. Yay. Oh, a hype train, no way. Okay. And so these are the freeze-dried pumpkin, and this is just a pumpkin puree that's been through the freeze dryer. And it's a little bit kind of cool. I don't know if you can see it and stuff. You can kind of see where it froze, and it has kind of like little ice crystal marks on there, and so that was kind of cool. So we're going to grind those up into making a flour. We'll combine it with the flour. And then the recipe itself calls for nuts, ground nuts to be in there to just kind of like, I think it's just to hold the stuff together too. So we have, pecans to grind up in there too. So that way we have apple pie, pumpkin pie, and pecan pie. Pecan, yeah, those things. Pecan! Star Trek one. And then instead of raisins, since it's, we had cranberries too. So, instead of the raisins. So, okay. And I got the big bowl because this makes this big amount because all these things. So we're going to start with our butter. And we do butter and sugar and a lot of sugar. This has an amazing amount of sugar in it. They're cookies. It's a holiday, so we're not going to think too hard about that. Just eat slightly less of them. Ha! But there's nutrition in there too, so it's not like a total loss. Okay, that is pretty close. Pretty close to a whole cup of butter, 8 ounces. Got it. Pure, unadulterated, goat cholesterol. Got it. And that's out of there. And then we're going to add a lot of sugar. White sugar. And brown sugar. You could probably use all brown sugar, but it ends up being just a little bit. 2½ cups. That's 1 cup. So, but it might end up being a little bit too soft. Maybe you just have to cook it a little longer. Cook it a little longer. All right. Oh yeah, this is supposed to be like a big old salad bowl. And it's like supposed to be decorative, you know, and everything. But I end up like using this, especially like for YouTube, where you have all this, you know, and so it's like you have like it's like a total white out, and you can see what's kind of happening there. But I end up with like salad, like carrot salad, where I just start grinding stuff and grinding stuff and grinding stuff, and then it kind of overflows my big glass mixer bowl, and so it's like, okay, they'll start big and go from there. And this is one of the few recipes that use my handy dandy hand mixer there. Most of the things you can use a whisk. To get out of using a hand mixer, you would just use, and it'll work, you can use melted butter, and then you can just use a whisk, and so then it's not a big deal. All right, thank you, Bear Witness, for hanging out. Get after it. Bear Witness. All right, so here we go. My mix. Okay, and this is a really forgiving recipe. So then we have a couple duck eggs. Thank you, duckies. Cool. Some baking soda. Some salt. Butter is not salted, so I add double. And then cinnamon. We're going to add a little bit of cinnamon. We're going to add our pumpkin pie spices. So almost out of cinnamon because 'tis been the season. Just for the pumpkin part. There we go. And hopefully not grate my fingers. These do grind up pretty good in a coffee grinder though. Done that. Pretty good. And I don't have any ground cloves because it's still on my list to get. Otherwise, like cloves, cardamom, allspice, that would probably be good in there too. Alright. Okay, now we start to grind things. Because we'll be adding all the things. Let's see, what are we grinding first? We'll just start adding. Oh my god, okay, let's do this. Pick one and go. I'm so distracted. We got so lucky. We got the, we talked to the lady about, a CSA lady about having eggs at their market. And, oh my god, I'm so preoccupied with that. We'll get it done though. Just trying to get the application for that together has been crazy because while there's regulations, no one knows them. So I'm like, okay, we want to do, what are all the rules? We swear we'll follow them. Well, submit your application with your protocol and how you're going on your rules and how you're going to do this. And I'm going like, okay. So I'm sitting here having to like hunt and peck through, you know, because you just like, how do you wash the eggs for sale? And to Google, you get some lady's video on how she washes them and sets them on the counter. And you don't even have to wash them. And I'm going like, oh, hon, we got to wash these. These are ducks that are talking here. And so I'm having to like scroll through absolutely every, you know, and then the USDA, because there's so much YouTube out there about that, of like, you know, home chickens and all that stuff, that the actual USDA stuff is so far buried down in there. So, scrolling down to page 47. Oh my god. But we'll get it done though. I'll get it done. Just, you know, one line at a time. We got kind of lucky though, because I used my favorite word at us when we were down there meeting with them. Pioneer program. We're trailblazers. That we are. That was my high school mascot when I was growing up, so I'm like, oh yay, I'm a pioneer. Woo. So I feel more pressure now. Like, okay, the protocol that for using their facility for our eggs there is like, okay, so I better write good. So we're making pumpkin flour from freeze-dried pumpkin. Cool. And pumpkin is kind of like average as far as like, you know, it's like a little bland. It's like a root vegetable, you know, unless you put stuff with it, you know. So freeze-dried pumpkin is even more so. Okay, I think, well, I'm just chatting and just like grinding up all this. Okay, we're gonna slow down here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so one, we're going to use this along with the flour. So we got that. We need 2 cups of flour. And so I think the last time I used this in place of, I think this time I'm going to use in addition to. So let's do that. And that's just the other parade of Thanksgiving catastrophe, you know. We have only white rice flour versus the usual brown rice flour at the health food store, nature store. And so this one is ground finer than this one is. So this one's going to be a little bit gritty. We have tons of this. We only have a little bit left of this. But, and so we have to save some back for our Thanksgiving hot dogs, baked hot dogs. And so we're going to go half and half with that, just so it's only half a disaster, you know. Because this ends up, if you have something that is a long cook time, that'll probably work. But with a short cook time, like a muffin or cookies or something like that, then it'll be gritty. I mean, it'll be okay, but it'll still be a little bit gritty. You're just gonna horf them, no big. Okay, all right then. And then the last time I added like half and half for the pumpkin flour, I'm just gonna let it go on with that. Hey, whoa. dropping stuff already. Okay. We good? It's all going in the same place then. Here we go. Alright, so we got our pumpkin and we got our regular flowers. Let's add, okay, the pecans will be, let's get these out of here. Because there's the pumpkin pie going on in there. The pumpkin pie spices, they're about. I'm going to do these rough grind, so there's bits, I think, unless they're too dry. What do we got? No more. Hey, this is going to be good. Yeah. Oh, Betty. Well, it's all mixed together, so it's going to end up in brown. Yeah. There we go. These are a little bit chewy. We're good. Yay! Oh, this is going to come out okay. It's going to come out okay. You can see that there's a little bit there. Okay, okay. All right. And I really like these, how these pink ones came out. They're kind of almost like tiger stripe. Oh, so many. And then, make this also about a cup. We may end up having to add some liquid to it. Most of it out of there. And this, there's a lot of sugar in these apples. Look how sticky. And that's looking like a cup also. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow, look at that. Alright. Okay. Now for pecans. Okay. Oh, these are good ones then. Yay! Ground pecans. This cord is being a pain. That's it. Alright. And in grinding pecans with this, they stick a lot because the oils, because it'll end up, if you keep going and you add just a little bit of oil to that, you'll get a little oil to that, you'll get like peanut butter, pecan butter. And they used to sell that at the market we were at. They had pecan butter with little cranberries in it. So good. Separated. They needed to grind it just a little more. Okay. There we go. And then after all of the flours get put in there, we put in our powders, we'll put in our flours, and we'll add our oatmeal and cranberries to that. Oh my god, all this stuff going in here. It's a salad. Oh. Sounds like it's okay. Yeah, it's getting tired. that was a rough grind there. All right, so we're done with the grinder. And these usually make big ones, big cookies. We're going to kind of do both a little bit. We'll start out with the larger ones. And then, okay, here we go. Boom. All right. So, we have our, hello, good morning, Blue Eyes. Just in time, we have our, just giving our grinder here a break. We have our pie cake and represent. We have pumpkin, freeze-dried pumpkin flour. We have some pink apples. So we have, and then we have brown pecans. So we have pumpkin pie, apple pie, and pecan pie cookies. We got those. This out the way because it gets messy from here. All right, because the next story is we're going to add our oatmeal and our cranberries. I still have tea. The final add-in. Oh, fresh can. And then this is like the whole oats as opposed to the quick ones. Let's see. Here we go. 1, 2, Since we added so many other things, we should probably make it 2. We're going to go with the recipe at 3. Since it's holiday time, we're going to add cranberries as opposed to raisins. What's oatmeal cookies without raisins? Oh yes, and hey, happy Thanksgiving to you. Alright. How was a cup? Seems like it needs more. I'll do a cup and a half. I am terrible about following instructions as far as when raisins and dried fruit and that sort of thing. So I'm happy about those. Okay. Fish all the air out, sort of. Okay. And this is going to be even messy. It's always on Thanksgiving where like appliances break, isn't it? Alright. Get all the little bits out there. This is not an add-in I would like. It's only half done. Okay. Okay, 1. Ooh, those are warm up in there. It was working. Alright. Got it. Oh, okay. So all the oil, I need to like get some of those silk hats so I can be like all uptown and everything. Alright, here we go. So we're going to start with the large, not this one particular because there's a lot of add-ins, but this oatmeal, even though we use like all the butter and way too much sugar and there's lots of grains in there and nuts and all that sort of stuff, if you use these tiny little pans and then portion them out in there, we did some math with that, each one of these is 100 calories, and so you can still stay on, you know, the straight and narrow with your calorie content, but you know, you want a cookie, you know, then that's like a safe way to go. And I hide them in the freezer, and so then, you know, just like 5 seconds in the microwave and you have, you know, a warm oatmeal cookie, you know, when it's on those days where you want to stay on your diet, but like, you know, come on, man. And so we're going to make some of these too. Okay. And then to keep everything uniformish as it gets, home chef. We're gonna, and they do spread out a little. And I feel like to make this more obvious, probably 3 batches with like just the pumpkin one, just the apple one, and then just the pecan one, and then like layer them. That would probably be more like obvious. You can kind of see in some of these, the apple is like really standing out. And these go in the oven for 12 minutes. We have a lot to do. So there we go. And then this is more like a tablespoon. So we're going to use those. Zooming along. It was 32 this morning outside. I was freaking out. And the other thing now is like, oh, you know, well, the goat water run. It's like, well, maybe. But then now we have the added thing. It's like, did the eggs freeze? Because we had a momentary lapse or whatever in our refrigerator, and then the top shelf pretty much froze. I'm not sure, every once in a while it just does that as like a surge or something. And we had frozen eggs and they burst, and it's like, oh man, what a mess. You know, because I mean, you know, we got them out frozen, so at least they didn't go all over the fridge. That would have been even worse. Whew. Okay. That'll be pretty good. And see, we still got like about, oh my god, should have said what time it was. Okay, about just under 10 minutes there. Another thing that I do with that, I want to go out and see the goats and like have those burn. That would be bad. So we'll hang out for just a second here. I just do this in case they like maintain that shape. I think that they melt down in though. But I think that, oh yeah, see there's that, or there's our apple. Can't really see the pumpkin. Got our cranberries in there. Can't really see the pecans, but I think if we ground the pecans just a little bit, just chop them as opposed to, that would be even more so. Be visible. Mayor Space, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Luxury Florida weather. We got 32 degrees this morning. Jelly's got her coat on. I would like to climb into Jelly's coat there. We're going to go see him in just a little bit. Oh, that's what we should do. Get one of these lovely little apples. And feed everybody a little pre-Thanksgiving roundup feast there. In fur-lined swimsuit. Whoa. And then these ones, they just smell glorious. These are wine saps. It's a little treat going on. Treat for cookouts. We'll see him after this first batch comes out. And I think I'm going to freeze walking out there. Hope I don't slide. I got to get the, here's no stickers. Pressure washer out in the driveway. All the leaves fly into the driveway, and then there's rain, and then now it's all like slick of just muck, So I got to get that. And then, our driveway is like exposed aggregate. And so once all that is like excavated, it's less slippy to walk on when it's freezing out. So it's also a good safety thing. Clear the pathways, Oh yeah, frost in the milk. I heard about that. It's like all of a sudden it's like winter time. What is that? Yeah, and then there's the citrus. Because I grew up in California, nearby some citrus, and then there was much pacing and wringing of hands and crying and wailing that, oh no, the frost and the citrus. Because there goes your there goes your crop if if it freezes, because frozen orange is like. And then, if you have other crops too, hothouse stuff, if it's not like well insulated, then, there goes like strawberries and tomatoes and stuff. But, I don't know if they still do this. I imagine no, because this is like so gross. This was 70s. It was a whole different millennium. They used to have these things called smudge pots where they would have tar in the bottom of these things, and they would light those, and this black. And they would line those all around through the orange orchards. So when you get oranges, they would have this black stick on them. And so, not so much nowadays. And so they would have these just like black, thick, it smelled so bad. And then the area would have a whole lot of heavy fog. So it was the equivalent of our pea soup fog. It was this black, thick tar smoke plus this heavy, dense fog. And that just made the fog even worse. And then that was just like, that had to be a eco disaster, but this was before like the EPA got down on absolutely. But I don't think they do that anymore, because I can't even imagine that would like. And then the price of like crude and tar and stuff is probably prohibitive at that point too. So see how far we got. Oh hey, halfway there. Got some for the next round here. Oh yeah, and then. I have this entire vat of figs, and then the child brings in another fig. Add to cart. Okay. And so I'm going to try and make a massive gâteau breton. Okay, I'm practicing trying to say that right, so I'm not like too offensive. And then so it's going to end up looking probably like a massive fig Newton, and then regular fig Newtons too. But I cannot seem to like get this to just it's still very sloshy. And so I think it's going to be the dehydrator, which is going to double as room heater. So that's going to be pleasant the next couple nights. And then just get this down to where it's like usable. I mean, that's what I had to do with. This is 24 hours of these figs. And then that looks like that's not going to come flying out of the, like the right consistency for that. And then, yay, something else for the freezer. And it's getting a little late in the year for these. And so you have to like, while they're soft, they don't feel like they're exactly right, And so I've been boiling them, and then you cut them into like quarters or something like that. Make sure you get all the stems off, because the sap that's in the fig tree is bitter and astringent, and it'll eat your fingers. And so you boil them, and then you toss the water, strain them out, and then that way you get a lot of that with latex, I guess they call it too, out of there. And then and that's what ended up with this, is that I boiled them and then drained them, and this worked better. It's still sloshy. We'll get it though. Oops, where did I have this? There we go. And I set my hands down. It's like, oh my god, I just have to look at the figs and everything's sticky. Oh, I smell them. I smell them. Hey, it's actually been 12 minutes. Let's see what we get. Do we need one more? Nope, looks good. So I'll wait to put these in, go visit the goats. There we go. That worked out pretty good. Let's see if we get our scraper here. And then these will solidify even better. And then we should probably check these going. Yeah, they're still too soft and everything. All right, mission accomplished. We got our pie cake and cookies with pumpkin and apple and pecan. We put cranberry and oatmeal cookies. And there we have these super huge ones for Mary Horfall weekend. We got some small size diet ones for me for later there. Let me grab my jacket real quick. I feel like I probably need like a major puffer jacket to go out there. Hopefully we won't be out there all that long, a little long. And let's see what we got here. We'll just go visit the Jelly Belly there. Hand out some little pre-Thanksgiving apples. There we go. Got my stair step. Woo! Okay. Push no buttons. Incorrectly. I don't want to turn the thing off. Ah! Let's see, I got our beauty shot there. There. Ah! We got Chad on the other side. And so there's our beauty shot of that, and our beauty shot of that. Okay, beauty shot of our apples here. Let's see.